The Redevelopment Agency meeting of October the 4th, 2006 is called to order. This meeting has been properly noticed and posted in compliance with the open meeting law. I'll read in the record. Council item number 52 is discussion and possible action regarding a resolution consenting to the undertakings of the City of Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency in connection with a commercial visual improvement program agreement between the agency and Main Street Holdings LLC property owner and High Post LLC doing business at Epic Shoes tenant located at 1209 South Main Street to be in compliance with and in furtherance of the goals and objectivities of the agency. Agency number 3 is RA 8, 2006, discussion of possible action regarding a resolution finding the project proposed by the Commercial Visual Improvement Program agreement between the Redevelopment Agency and the Main Street Studios LLC and High Post LLC doing business at Epic Shoes located at 1209 South Main Street to be in compliance with and in furtherance of the goals and objectivities of the agency. Agency number 4 is discussion of possible action regarding a commercial visual improvement program agreement with Main Street Studios LLC and High Post LLC doing business at Epic Shoes, providing funds to assist with improvements to a commercial building located at 1209 South Main Street, not to exceed $50,000 Redevelopment Agency Special Revenue Fund. All these items are in Ward 3. Mr. Adams, please.
Good morning. Scott Adams, the Director of the Office of Business Development. This is another series of 3 items that would approve a visual improvement program grant for a project at 1209 South Main Street. And I have on the overhead a series of photos that show before on the top and after the plans that this property owner and tenant plan to make to this property in terms of converting an existing storefront into a new retail business that would house a shoe store. The first item is the council item, is a resolution where the council simply grants that and consents to the actions taken by the redevelopment agency in this matter. The second item is that of the redevelopment agency, which resolves that the actions are consistent with the redevelopment plan. There's no other reasonable means of funding available. And the third item approves the funding and amount required to complete these improvements. The estimated cost is $27,000, which we would split with the property owner 50-50, and approves the agreements that we enter into with respect to making the funding available and controlling the ultimate maintenance and use of the property. So those are the 3 items that we're asking that you approve. Staff recommends approval. We do have befores and after, and there is a gentleman here representing the business who can speak to his plans for the business.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Todd Burden, and let's see, my address is 1209 South Main Street. I currently own Still, which is located in Fashion Show Mall. It's a men and women's boutique that services, of course, men and women. It's a denim-based store, and out of the demand of our customers, we are looking to expand our business. And as you can see before you, this would be a shoe store called Epic Shoes, just based on the development of downtown Las Vegas, but then also taking advantage of the opportunity where, of course, First Friday has a captive audience every single month. We thought that this would be a great location to go down to the Arts District, be able to utilize the program, take the funding, and also create just a really dynamic storefront that would be very appealing to, of course, all the local consumers. But then also we greatly feel that this will be something that will definitely be beneficial to the city and other businesses in the redevelopment, I should say, of course, of the Arts District in downtown.
Thank you very much for those comments. Are there any questions to the applicant? Hearing none. On council item number 52.
I'll make public comment, Mayor.
Sure.
Tom McDonald, Las Vegas resident in the Arts District of Ward 3, formerly 1 in the city of Las Vegas. This is really evident as an epic improvement. And I don't mean that kiddingly. The person representing the applicant is impeccable. I'm sure the property will be operated in an impeccable manner that is beneficial to the entire city, not just the Arts District. There are other premises in the Arts District that would benefit immediately by an upgrade of this type most notably at the intersection of Main and Charleston, which is just a couple of blocks from this enterprise here. And that neighborhood appears to be quite blighted. It has been for many, many decades. I assume that the city council has something like that in mind for improving those areas, although I haven't heard it discussed yet, but I'm sure you will imminently, within the next couple of meetings, let's say. So my recommendation is strongly, and without further discussion, approve the item. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On item number 50, council item number 52, I'll follow Mr. McGowan's recommendation for approval. Move to approve item number 52 with all conditions, please. Please vote. Cast your vote. Post, please. Motion carries. And on agency item number 3, I make a motion to follow staff's recommendation for approval. Please cast your vote. Please post. Motion carries. And on agency item number 4, same recommendation for approval following staff's recommendation. You've heard the motion. Please cast your vote. Please post. Motion carries. We pushed the wrong button? Show us voting yes. She just wants to see if he's awake. Motion carries. And we'll go to item number 5, please. Thank you. Good luck, sir.
Thank you very much.
Discussion of possible action regarding an estoppel certificate to Hypo Real Estate Capital Corporation and Beer Stearns Commercial Mortgage, Inc. concerning the first amended and reinstated owner participation agreement dated July 7, 2004 with WMCV Phase 1 LLC, WMC 1 Associates LLC, World Market Center 2 Associates LLC, and World Market Center Phase 2 LLC. This is Councilman Weekly's ward. The recommendation is approve and authorize the chairperson to execute the same and any related documents.
Okay, this is an item that has been requested by World Market Center for their refinancing of Phase 2 of World Market Center. You have previously approved some of these estoppel certificates in previous financings on World Center. They're attempting to refinance the Phase 2 project in the amount of $445 million and need an estoppel certificate from the redevelopment agency that certifies that the agreement that we have with them, which is an owner participation agreement for the TIF rebate funding, is in full force and effect, that there are really no events that would create a default situation under that agreement, and that all the obligations of the developer under the agreement have been completed and duly performed by World Market Center under that agreement. We have taken this very, very seriously, made sure that all those documents that are required to be submitted to be compliant with the owner participation agreement have been submitted to the city, and therefore recommend approval. There are issues that you may need to ask the developer in terms of how they're complying with certain aspects of those requirements, and we've asked the developer to meet with the ward councilman on this project, as well as be present today to answer any questions that you might have with respect to any of the submittals or any of their obligations under this agreement as they move forward. So we'd certainly defer to the representatives here that are present with World Market Center to answer any questions that you might have with respect to this. But staff does recommend approval based on the fact that they have provided all the submittals they need under the agreement.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Are there any questions? Do the World Market Center people have to come up? Councilman Weekly, please.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. I'd just like to thank again Mr. Holgate very much, as he's in the audience here with us with their legal counsel who's here also. And I want to thank him very much. On yesterday we held a meeting with Mr. Dundaro and Mr. Sawyer and all the parties involved here with this project here to discuss, the owner participation concerns that we had as it relates to employment opportunities and just the different opportunities that goes on there as it relates to subcontracting and procurement opportunities. And we have discussed some other options out there and making sure that we work with chambers such as the Latin, Urban, and Asian Chamber of Commerce. And we're in the process right now of working on a little mini plan of outreach, if you will, and we'll be working with Mr. Holgate and the rest of the crew there to ensure that we do our part to make sure that any levels of participation that the community can get involved in as it relates to minority participation, we want to make sure that that happens. And so I appreciate them so very much for coming out to meet with us and to be very amenable in ensuring that any levels of participation are going to be put out there via Las Vegas Sentinel Voice, the El Mundo, or even the Asian publications to let the public know that there are opportunities out there. So thank you very much, Mr. Holgate, for that. I appreciate it very much. And also, too, I'd like to thank Mayor Goodman in his absence, but as well as Councilwoman Tarkanian and those from staff who came out to the groundbreaking of Building Number 3. This is an extremely exciting project that's happening in downtown Las Vegas, and to see it happening so fast and to be unveiled right before our eyes, we can go back maybe 4 years ago, if that long ago, and we remember when we thought nothing would happen on this site, and lo and behold, it's happening, and we're very excited about it. And so, Scott, I'd like to thank you and Mr. Van Gorp and your entire office as well for your support, as well as Dr. Sylvie and all the managers for working with us and keeping us in the loop and helping us to keep the community abreast of what's going on out there. And so, Mayor Pro Tem, I'm not sure if you're going to have public comment on this, but I am ready to make a motion.
Great.
Barry.
I will probably support the good councilman's motion, whatever it is. Tom McGowan, Las Vegas resident. I, like you, am very impressed with what some refer to initially as the butt building, the big butt building, like very artistic and aesthetic, etc. So I have two brief questions regarding the World Market Center development project and complex. First question is, and you may answer at your convenience or leisure if you wish, what was the specific reason for the estoppel? And the second, perhaps more significant question in terms of public interest is, when is the World Market Center going to be open to the public? If ever.
I can answer number 2, and I'll give number 1 to Mr. Adams.
Thank you, Councilman.
Number 1 is very simple. Anytime you realize a financing of a major project, the lender always wants to know that all the agreements that are in effect, that we respect that property that they're financing, are in full force and effect. There's nothing that would in any way endanger their financial position as they move forward with the financing. So the estoppel basically certifies that as of this date, all of these things are in full force and effect and the agreement's valid.
And on question number 2, Mr. McGowan, we've worked very closely with Mr. Sawyer as well as Mr. Holgate. We've had several tours of World Market Center, and they've been always very open when we have groups. We try and establish groups opposed to doing one-on-one tours because the building is just so big. But they've been extremely amenable to when we organize groups that would like to go inside and tour World Market Center. We've done that. I think I've made it up to the 5th floor, and I hadn't made it past that. That's about all I can do. It's huge, and so anytime we have any groups from the public that would like to go on a tour, we work with them, and they make arrangements for us to do that. So that's how it works.
Councilman?
Yes.
What that is what you're saying, so that it's understood by some of the people who might not be as aware, is that the public can come if they go to the managers of World Market Center and arrange for a tour, but you can't just go in and buy.
Right.
It's not like a store.
Absolutely.
That's what
And I think that if anyone from your ward, the various wards or council offices on this dais here, if your constituents are interested in going on a tour, sure, if they contact your office and you can work with Mr. Holgate or Mr. Sawyer, they'd be more than happy to take you on a tour of the site. But you're right. You can't go in and go shopping.
That's what a lot of people want to do.
Thank you. Councilman Weekly, can we have a motion, please?
Yes, I'd like to follow staff's recommendation, please.
You've heard the motion. Please cast your vote. Please post. Motion carries.
Redevelopment Agency, item number 6, discussion and possible action regarding extending the Neonopolis parking validation program for 90 days to Joshi and Associates, located at 450 Fremont Street, Ward 5, Weekly. Mr. Adam, approval and ratify actions of staff. Mr. Adam.
Okay, this is an item that goes back to the workout that we brought to you months ago that allowed for the sale of Neonopolis from Prudential to Rotary Joshi. During that workout, one of the things that we did was temporarily extend by 90 days the parking validation program that's been in effect since the inception of Neonopolis. There is a program where parking validation is discounted to the end user, and then the owner of Neonopolis pays that discounted rate on behalf of the retail buyers who go into the facility. Mr. Joshi, who now owns the facility, came to us and asked that we extend that validation program from the date it was to expire, which was September 8th, for another 90 days. We entertained that request on September 15th, and you have in your packets issued a letter to Mr. Joshi indicating we would do so subject to your approval, which we're asking for today. We asked that he bring current any past amounts that he owed on past validation, that he continue to work with our staff, with the mayor and the council, particularly the ward councilman, on this project so that he can share with us his plans and vision for where he's going with the project, and then appear before you on no later than December 6th to present those plans and consider the possibility of another extension for another 90 days of a validation program that would give us then another 90 days to consider any permanent amendments to the agreements that exist between the building and our ownership of the parking garage and the property. So what we're asking for is ratification of the letter that we sent to Mr. Joshi on September 15th that does all those things. So he would come back to us in December with his plans. Then at that point, we would consider the extension for another 90 days, possibly a permanent amendment to the agreements that exist that provide for permanent changes to the parking arrangements that exist. And then at that point, we would know where he's going with the project. I have asked Mr. Joshi to be here today to answer any questions that you might have with respect to the project at this time.
Are there any questions?
Yes. Hi, Mr. Joshi.
Hi, Lawrence.
You just state your name.
I'm Joshi. My address is 8981 Opus in Las Vegas.
I've seen the beautiful renderings of your proposed changes to the site there. Give us a future forecast of what's happening.
You know, right now it's 300,000 square feet gross buildable area as it sits today. And in that, about 220,000 is leasable area, of which 110 comprises of Jillian's Restaurant, Galaxy theaters that we just changed, as well as Poker Dome, which has been doing very well, by the way. That's about 15,000 square feet. And a jeweler. Combined, that is about 55% of the entire leasable area. So we only have about 100,000 square feet leasable, and that's what we're trying to do, in which we have a lot of credit tenants available to occupy the space. In the last 3 months, working with the business development offices and redevelopment agency, we were able to communicate with about 160,000 square feet of tenants, credit tenants, that wants to participate in this property. And it's not because we've done a great job. I think there's just not enough space in downtown to occupy. So we have that particular plan worked on retail, dining, entertainment. In addition to that, Times Square development, we are working with the Bowery Street, the 42nd Street, the Broadway, and the entire area of the 42nd Street. And so we think that there are a lot of tenants there that we would like to bring them in here in the plan number B. And the third plan is to do all kinds of assemblage around the property to create a bigger project. So we're working on those. We work those out in the next 90 days and try to come up with a good solution for parking garage and work with Scott and Steve and Gorp and, of course, Doug Selby's offices.
So in your future plans, are you all looking to keep Jillian's as well as the Crown Theaters there?
Right now, we own those two businesses. The only thing we don't own in the property is the poker dome and one jewelry store. So with ownership of those, we will decide as we go along as to what the best alternates are for the tenants that we've got. But right now, we are keeping them open, yes.
I think that's good. I think Jillian's as well as Crown Theaters, they're like downtown's best kept secret, because every time I ask young people about it, they have no idea. They have never heard of it in downtown Las Vegas. And you know, this summer we were very blessed and fortunate. We sponsored a movie summer series for children, and it was strange because as our summer camps brought children downtown to Crown Theaters, to the movies, those children had never been there before. And so, you know, we hope that you keep the theater because it's a great place, you know, for families to go in. You can go to the movies for $5, and that's kind of unheard of in today's society, and see top-rated movies. And so we hope that you can keep that and then do a better job at getting the word out to the community, not be so tourist-oriented, but let the locals know that this is something in downtown Las Vegas for everybody.
We'll definitely do it. There's about 2,400 seats in the theaters right now on 11 screens, and 4 shows a day, so we're having a capacity of over 9,600 seats, of which only 20% is being used. So about 80% is vacant at all times. And what we are trying to do is to create with the Galaxy's help, they are very good operators, and they're going to increase that in the next 6 months to a year to come. They'll manage it much better. We put up a food court area. We have added some seats and chairs and people to enjoy inside the theaters instead of just outside in the food court. So we expanded the food court as well. And I think you'll see a lot of changes in the Galaxy Theater to be very positive for the community, as well as the Fremont Street Experience Merchant Association of all the hotel operators are also helping us with their free coupon kind of a collaboration of promotions. And that will be very important to bring the locals to that particular theater. Jillian's also is doing very well in the last 2-3 months that we've taken over the day-to-day management. And besides the bowling alley, the pool halls, the banquet facilities, and the sports bar area, the amusement area, we are reducing it, creating another venue for restaurant for a little better fare, so you can all be in downtown, enjoy that particular restaurant. So you'll be seeing a lot of changes happening for the best.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes.
I just wanted to add, in echoing what Councilman Weekly said, my word's a little further away, some of it, but we have people who really love that theater. It's clean, it's safe, it's secure, and the food court area, and then they used to have Inca musicians would come, or Hispanic groups would come and have a little bit of entertainment as you would sit and eat in the food court. I haven't seen that lately, so I don't know if they're still doing that. But the problem when I talk with people, once you get them there, they see how wonderful it is, but they're afraid it's hard to get to. And that's the key thing. I think they feel it's hard to get to park and then be able to go in. So if there's some way that could get across, I know along that Rancho corridor, we have lots of people who would utilize that area.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's the access, the ingress and the egress is the most important thing in this property, and I think it was, of course, designed by the famous RTKL Norm Gardner. I'm going to blame it on him, but he started this project and they designed it differently, in which you're absolutely right. People can get to the parking garage. By the time they get off the Las Vegas Boulevard, they take 2 turns they've lost, and by that time they've lost the interest to even come to our property. So we have to resolve that ingress-egress situation, and we have hired a very important architect by the name of Peter Kelthorpe, who will be working with the city and the OBD as well as RDA to develop a infrastructure plan for that particular problem that you just cited. But also, in the parking garage, you got to create a better, safe, secure environment with a little better, typical things that you see in the major resort. It is just lacking. Women won't come from suburbia to come to theaters here if your parking structure is not absolutely done 100% first class. And we've been discussing that with Scott and with Steve, and those are the things we are working it out in the next 3 months to come before you again, within 3 months, to come with a better plan. In the meantime, I want you to meet Norm Garden, who designed this project, and made a mess out of it. No, I don't mean that. But he's a genius. He's around the world. They've developed tons of projects like these, and he's helping us out to phase it, reposition it, in which you can see on the screen is, could you explain that a little bit if you can?
Hello, everyone. I am Norman Garden, and was involved at the beginning of this, dating all the way back to when, this council approved the project back in 1997. I think it was December of 97. And it was a great concept. It was going to be a family entertainment precinct to the entire downtown Fremont Street experience. And sometimes what everything amounts to is just timing is everything, and unfortunately a number of events occurred over the course of time. This project didn't come out the way it should have. And it's my hope that, in addition to some of the parking elements that have been brought up, I think probably the biggest term I would say is that we could go back, harken back to the original plans, which was a much more open, quality-oriented, user-friendly environment, and that this project doesn't, evoke the sense of a fortress that it is today, and that it does embrace streets like 4th and Las Vegas Boulevard and Ogden, in addition to Fremont Street. And at a minimum, that things like the tower that was never, you can see that in the rendering here, could be completed. The structure's there to allow that to happen. Basically open the throat that engages onto the intersection of Fremont and 4th. And actually were means of vertical circulation that would entice and move people quickly up to the second floor. Those are the kind of things that we are discussing with Joshi, and those are the kind of things what we hope that will help to make this a better environment and make this a better place, and obviously make it more exciting for tenants to want to come here and fill the place up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions you may have of me?
Your Honor.
Yes.
Mr. Joshi and Councilman Weekly, I don't know about you, but I use the Neonopolis as my cheap date night quite frequently. I feel bad for my wife occasionally, but she too enjoys going downtown and taking part in watching a movie and eating in the restaurants. I have heard several rumors, and you may not want to share with us your prospective tenants, but I figured I'll just dispel those rumors right now in regards to a Western dance hall type theme tenant. Is that something that is in the horizons for the Neonopolis? And I ask you that because I represent the Northwest. A lot of rural folks out there, a lot of cowboys, and they're interested in whether you're going to do something like that downtown.
Well, I'll put you to rest. First of all, a couple of things. We had a very good inquiry from Gillies at the Frontier Hotel, and they were, as you know, they're going to be demolishing that site and creating a bigger, better project. And Phil Ruffin would like to be a part of this kind of a project, but he has other ideas of creating a hotel and so forth with the Gillies brand name, and he owns the Gillies brand name. So we had another project proposed also with some of our associates that would do a very similar thing with a electronic build in the front of the Fremont Street that would bring people in, and converting the entire thing into some of the bar at the Billy's or something that they call it. In Houston there is a project like that, in Fort Worth as well. So we had some, beg your pardon, what was the name? Yes. And so we think that we had those tenants, we still have them available to us, we could do it. But right now what we are doing is just repositioning a couple of things. We wanted to clean up all the tenants that were there before, get them out, create a master plan that works for all of us, and go beyond the Neonopolis project to make a major anchor out of it that extends eastward to the Fremont East District. And that was our ploy, to make sure that we don't make another mistake. Failure is just not an option right now. We just got to make this thing work. So we thought that we would bring the right kind of tenants to the city. We work with them. They're very experienced. Scott and Steve and everybody else have done these things before. They've been involved in various projects, so we are taking their leads also. So I brought a lot of tenants to them and see if we can put some better tenants together.
Your Honor, if I may again, Mr. Joshi, I think you've got a gold mine right there and a golden opportunity to do wonderful things with that area. I, for one, as a member of this council, am very excited with the prospects of what you're doing. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Remember that? Was that a yes?
Yeah, just a second.
Funny how you pick things up. Tom McGowan, Las Vegas resident for more than 50 years. I have said previously in the city council and in other forums that entertainment easily outpaces gaming and the other forms of activity. And with that in mind, approximately 7 years ago, I introduced my first proposal for Neonopolis. Neonopolis is destined to be an ensured successful development downtown, far beyond any and all previous expectations, including today, only if they adopt and implement a proposal that is based on the entertainment content of Neonopolis. I don't know how many of you have ever been to Neonopolis, actually, and not noticed, perhaps, that central atrium is a key configuration. It is, in effect, the Globe Theater on Stratford on Avon. Anybody heard of Shakespeare? Well, that's what it is. It's tri-level, open in the middle. It is a fair, number one. Now, going into Neonopolis, the influx attraction of volume patronage is what's important.
Mr. McGowan.
There's a way to do that. I'm going to terminate my comment right now.
Well, we're getting
but I'll just say this to you, Mr. Mayor and members of the council, and the applicant. That is a success story. Waiting to happen. All you have to do is adopt the means to do it. That's simple. And I recommend approval, not one extension, but every extension necessary of the parking elevation. And also you might consider the possibility of giving a senior discount, since we do have seniors in the city besides Councilman Ross and his friends and associates. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. McGowan.
Is there a motion, Councilman Weekly?
Yes, yes, ma'am. I'd like to move to follow staff's recommendation, please.
You heard a motion. Please cast your votes. Please post. Motion carries.
Thank you. Our next item is item number 7, citizens' participation. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the Redevelopment Agency. No subject may be acted upon by the Redevelopment Agency unless that subject is on the agenda and is scheduled for action. If you wish to be heard, come to the podium, give your name for the record, the amount of time discussion of any single subject, as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed, may be limited. Ron, we'll give him 3 minutes, please.
Could you turn the speaker up just a little bit, because you're not really speaking loud enough where the public can hear you out there.
We've had no, you can.
I just thought one of those because, hey, I know you're one of the greatest spokesmen so far up there.
We need your name and address, please.
Oh.
You're losing time here.
I thought everybody knew me. Isaac Henderson, Las Vegas resident. I came to the podium to point out that the decision that you guys have made for the previous sessions from January of this year all the way up to now has been great improvement in the possibility of having great wealth to come to Nevada and to keep it and possess it and really invest it into us. And another reason was that in the BLM situation, where we got more money to build trails and parks through what's the memorandums and letters of intents that you guys have voted on to pass, and also through some of the letters of memorandums and intents that I've given you in order to use for pledges in order to keep the prospective project into focus. But I also want to point out that Sheriff Young, Bill Gillespie, all those guys who came through to support the mayor and other campaigns for the county, for the city, for the state, just as well as the fire department, the police department. We have come to a point where we have great expectations, not only of citizens to have voted and put you in power and position, but in my support, which most of you guys have supported in the campaign, in order to give more back into society than any I have seen in the history of Las Vegas. And being a minority,
to have more minorities to come in to support your campaigns is a blessing. Not only that, we have opened up more doors for minorities to become police enforcers, fire chiefs. We got to step that up and beef that up also. We also got to beef up the protection for our child industry, which is, I was at a meeting not too long ago, the child abuse industry. We have to get more doctors in. We have to have more psychiatrists on duty. We have to have more food and shelter and emergency transportation for those kids. We also need more benefits for the single citizens. Of course, as we get older, we will be looking for our benefits also. Not to bore you with any more of the success and power and authority that you guys have already obtained, but to give you more incentive to have more jurisdiction. I want to get the word right. And easements of all powers where we can run parallel with the state government, just as well with the federal government, and still get what we want. God bless you.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'll make it brief. I've been riding through the city on the buses looking at the new development of all the new high-rises, and I like the slogan that the Sandhurst over on Grand Central Station have, a higher standard of living, and that is what I hope to see in the future here, a higher standard of living. And as more and more people relocate to this area, I hope they don't experience what I'm going through with, because we do need a higher standard of living and a better quality of life for the residents that are here and the ones that we may obtain later with all the new high-rises coming up. We don't want to be embarrassed on building some and then with these slogans, a higher standard of living. You understand what I'm trying to say? We need I was in the military. They like to promote a better quality of life for all citizens. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Miguel, please.
God bless America. I'm a Las Vegas resident. I'll be succinct. The key, and you're advised in this axiomatic fact repeatedly for the past 15 years. I don't know when it's will finally sink in, but I think it will very, very soon. Because without your coherent accordance with this particular premise, you don't have a chance in hell, by English. The key to community development is not development, it is community. C-O-M-M-U-N-I-T-Y. Community. You're getting a little closer to it day by day. You listen to how people are talking in here. They're talking about a sense of community, the need for it. Metro needs the public's assistance. Okay? Everybody does. The school district needs it. Everything you can name depends upon community involvement, community participation, a sense of genuine community in the city of Las Vegas. You're going to have a changeover in the population context, the demographics coming in already right now and continuing. It may be a completely different place in the city of Las Vegas because you have three shifts, the ones who are here, the ones who are coming, and the ones who are leaving. And I happen to be on that latter shift for obvious reasons. But the point is, before I leave, I intend to see this city become a community in no uncertain terms. Because without it, you no longer Las Vegas. Just like New Orleans. Without the people of New Orleans, there is no New Orleans. I don't care how many towers you erect. Where is the community? Where are the seniors, the children, the grandchildren, the people who converse with one another? Where are the elected officials who care genuinely about people? That is a community. When you get close, I'll let you know. I'll be the person to let you know. But until then, keep trying. And I'll say once again, Indianapolis is the absolutely fantastic opportunity to achieve a sense of community in the city of Las Vegas, not by bringing in Times Square, New York, but by allowing the people of Las Vegas who live here and are Las Vegas throughout their history and currently in projection to make that a success by being a part of it. If you want the public's approval, open your arms and invite the public and if you have one on them, allow them. One final comment, I would hasten to add to my commentary earlier. I have the greatest respect and admiration for the office of the city attorney, in particular for Deputy City Attorney Val Steed. He knows that. I told him that many years ago and continuously, and I will continue to be. My question was with the bill, not with Val Steed, and so there's no attempt to impugn him in personal professionally. But my comment still stands. And the legislature talks faster than the city attorney Beth. Send right over to channel 13 or 3 or 8 because they need fast talkers over there. But not here. The public wants to hear what you're saying and assimilate it, not to find out how fast you can talk or how rapidly, for the sake of city council. Otherwise, we'll have to stop and say, what was that third word you said in line 3 of item number so-and-so? And then you can't explain it, I'll have to tell it. It's very generously in the back, because you're not public enough to let the public know what it is you're talking about. Very simple.
Thank you, sir.
To the point, thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak?
Can I say something? Thanks to my signal ready. I came into town 1958.
We need to have you go to the
Oh,
microphone.
I'm sorry.
Give us your name and address for the record,
I
please.
came into town 1958, and I knew Mike through his mother, and I pushed him through school. I told him to get to schooling.
Brad,
and get his-
are we off what we're agendaed for here today?
We're agendaed for citizen participation for redevelopment items, but it's up to your discretion if you want to hear more than that.
We need your name and address, please.
Pardon me?
We need your name.
My name is Nicholas DeFore,
Okay.
301 Windfair Court. We went into business building 4 homes. I never received anything.
This is not going to be a
No, it's not going to be a long,
No, it's not going to be a public attack on Mr. Signorelli. This is not the forum for that. We're talking here about redevelopment agency items. If you want to come back after our afternoon session and speak under citizen participation at that time, you'd be more than welcome to. But we're not going to have a character reference of Mr. Signorelli at this time.
when should I come back, sir?
This afternoon, after that afternoon session this afternoon.
Afternoon session. I thank you. What
Thank
time
you.
would that be?
Probably around 3:30 or 4 o'clock,
Oh, thank you.
approximately.
All right.
I got to get Councilman Brown out here by 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Anyone else wishing to speak? Hearing no one, we'll close this portion of our public hearing. Yes, please come forward, please.
All right, I'm Alexis Merrill, and on the Neonopolis Jillian thing, my family and I go down there like quite often, at least 2 or 3 times a month, and so they do need to add more like restaurants and things because there isn't really much to eat in the actual Neonopolis place itself.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Anyone else? Okay, hearing none, we'll adjourn the redevelopment agency. We'll see you back here at 1 o'clock sharp. Thank you very much.